Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today, and thank you to the Product School to invite me to this webinar. My name is Catalina Rivillas. I am an international product growth manager at Facebook, and today I want to talk about the goal-driven approach that is a productivity tool to help us to stay focused and always think in meaningful outcomes. So before we jump in, let's talk a little bit more about me. So I have been spending the last 15 years of my career in consumer and business-facing products in different types of industries, starting for hailing apps, gaming, traveling, hardware and software products at TomTom, and most recently in Facebook, I am responsible to address high-level opportunities for Facebook products in Spanish Latin-speaking countries. So today I want to cover three main topics. The first one is what is a goal-driven approach and how it can help us to stay focused and boost our productivity. The second is to give you an example of a practical day-to-day framework. And the last one is some tips and tools to help us to stay focused and energized. Let's start with a bit of context. I think for none of us is a secret that we live in a world full of distractions. We are constantly reacting to other people's priority in the form of emails, notifications, meeting invites, and we are also exposed to an infinite stream of information that is also competing to our attention all the time. So at the end, the question is how effective and efficient we are. At the end, most of us are defaulted with something that we call the busy mind wagon mindset. And basically with this one, we believe that if we don't stop, we will never catch up. So we are constantly doing or trying to get things done. So we end up with an infinite list of to-do lists and things that are like a calling for our attentions. So you end up with that sickening feeling like you are wasting your time or being busy all day, but actually not accomplish anything meaningful. So this, of course, is affecting our goals, and not only in our professional life, but also in our personal lives. So I want to call out a quote from Bill Copeland, and he said that the trouble with not having a goal is that you can spend your whole life running up and down the field and never score. And this is why the goal-driven approach is important and came into the picture, because it helps us to focus on completing relevant tasks to achieve planned outcomes and meaningful goals. So today I want to present a very basic framework with 5-step framework. And this is an example of a working framework that has been working for me over the past years. And then we start defining 3 to 5 realistic goals to accomplish per week. And then at the end of the week, you just recap of your week and apply the learnings for the next one. So it's an iterative approach where you are like a trying, learning, and doing. So let's start with the first step. So in this one, you need to define 3 to 5 goals to accomplish per week. Having clear goals per week can help you to create more time and space for the things that matters. And here I usually try just to use a top-down technique. So usually you have very clear strategy goals, probably a product roadmap with the higher level milestone that you need to accomplish. With that in mind, then you start to break it down in goals that you can accomplish per week. So that helps you just to stay aligned with higher level goals while doing progress week over week. So let's have just some examples for this exercise. So let's say that in this week, I want to accomplish 3 main goals. So the first one is I want to identify and share insights to improve features XYZ discoverability. As a second goal, I want to complete an opportunity sizing for a new feature proposal. And third one, I want to finish a resourcing plan for next year. So all of these 3 goals should be aligned with my higher goals for my strategy. So the second step will be to break down each goal into tangible actions that I can accomplish per day. This helps us to prioritize better and also to design our day and our week. So let's choose the goal number 1 as an example. So in this goal, I mentioned before that I want to identify and share insights to improve feature XYZ discoverability. In order to accomplish that, let's say that I need probably to validate existing features entry points and see what are their performance. Maybe I need to review previous research and understand what are the people's problems. Also, I can run a quick usability test. Based on this information, I can identify growth opportunity and missing gaps. With that, I can probably share the learnings with my team and relevant stakeholders. And at the end, I want just to agree on an immediate hypothesis that we need to validate. So when I'm doing these 6 actions, then I will be accomplished my goals. I will do the same for goal number 2 and goal number 3. So the first steps is to design your day and your week. So you want to plan all the actions per goal in your weekly calendar. You can use a digital or a physical calendar. Personally, I use both. I love to have a whiteboard in front of me where I can also plan my week. And it's also important that in your calendar, you also write down your goals. When you are writing something, you are making a commitment for yourself that you want to accomplish it. So I always have it in front of me. Then I plan all the actions per goal in my weekly calendar. Of course, I also have the meetings that I already had planned for my week. And in order for me to plan this actions per goal, then I use something that is called focus blocks. And basically it's 1 or 2 hours of straight work that I am committed to working on a specific action. So the idea is that you have an unbroken time, so you are fully dedicated to that focus blocks. It's also a good practice to choose a daily highlight. And the daily highlight is your focal point. It's the highest priority that you need to accomplish over the day. I also write it down in my physical calendar, so I also keep my full attention to it. So when something new came up, so you can ask yourself if this is contributing to your daily highlight or with the goals that you need to accomplish for the week. If not, you can park it and put it in a parking lot that I also have a section in my physical calendar for it. Then energy is extremely important for you to be productive. So it's good that you have also some time for yourself over the day. Over the day and over the week. So in that case, it's good that you plan your lunchtime or also your breaks, active pause. Then it's also part of your weekly schedule. So just to recap, some of the tips that are important to take into account. So the first one, the one that I just mentioned, make sure that you are planning all the actions per goal in your calendar. So you are making a commitment for yourself that you are going to work on those. Just try to create unbroken focus blocks per task and avoid having scattered meetings. You don't want us to switch topics time to time. So make sure that you have unbroken timing to work in the most important part of your goals. There are some people that just create some focus blocks and make the title in the calendar as do not schedule. So some people also will understand that this is an important time for you and they will not schedule over. Choose a highlight to accomplish per day. As I mentioned, a highlight is your focal point, help you to prioritize your day. And then the idea is as well that you have some an intentionally unstructured time, because life, you could get a lot of things that you are not expecting, like an unexpected meeting or something else came up. So it's good that you are not fully booked in your calendar, so you also have some freedom for these unexpected things. Then another good practice is to schedule an email time, an email checking time, hopefully by the end of the day. You don't want to start your day just looking at your emails and just going straight to other people's priority. You want to start first with what matters to you and your plans and your goals. And at the end of the day, just look at your email. If there is something urgent or very important, most likely you will be notified from other means. And the last one, as I mentioned as well, is to get time for energize. Energy is very important. So you want to make sure that you are preserving your energy throughout the day. The fourth step is to review the action completion at the end of the day and pivot when needed. So if something unplanned comes up, just ask yourself if this is contributing to your daily highlight or to your goals or the action that you need to do to accomplish the goals of the week. And if not, just put it in a parking lot. A structured day actually creates a lot of freedom. When you don't have a plan, you have to decide constantly what to do next. And probably you are getting easily distracted for all the things that you could easily do. So the final step is to review your goals at the end of the week. Similar as we are doing daily, it's a very important practice that you do a retrospective of your week. Just look back and see what are the goals that you have accomplished and what are the learnings that you could use for the next week. And it's also very important to celebrate your progress and be grateful. It is quite useful when you look at your day or your week with a grateful lens. Even when you are not able to accomplish all your goals, but if you work hard to make time for those, is something to be grateful for. So just having this grateful feeling can give you a lot of motivation to keep going and continue learning. So finally, I want just to give you some tips and tools to stay focused and energized. So I have been talking a lot about focus blocks and how important they are to accomplish your like a daily highlights or the goals that you want to accomplish per day. But then you need to take it seriously. Just treat it like an important meeting. If you don't take it seriously, people won't either. And also you need to be very intentional. If you already booked 1 or 2 hours of straight work just in order to just work in something important, but you end up just looking at notifications and emails, probably you are already wasting your time. And for that, it's very important to turn off the notifications. There are some tools that already automatically turn off the notifications when you are working in focus blocks or you schedule focus blocks. But if not, then make sure that you do so. Just put your phone away, close your email, and make sure that you have your undivided attention to the action that you are doing. Say no. This is probably one of the a greatest skill for product managers. But the best way to get out of low priority obligations is never accept them in the first place. Bulldoze your calendar. Ideally, you want to have all your meetings done in 1 or 2 days in your week, but in the reality, that never happens. But at least you can try to organize all your meetings, like in blocks, could be at the end of your morning or at the end of your afternoon. But the idea is that you are not like a constantly switching attention. If you don't have a deadline, invent one. Nothing better to get things done than having a deadline. When somebody else is waiting for a result from you, even yourself, then it's the best way to get into the laser focus mode. Make a brain dump list. So sometimes happens that when you are working in a daily highlight or in an action to accomplish your goal, then you could get a lot of thoughts of things that you have to do. When that happens, you just take a piece of paper and a pen and then start to write down all of these things, literally brain dump list. So at the end of your day, you can just assess if any of those actions you need to plan for the next day or just put it in a parking lot for the next week. And then stop when you are done. In our busy mind wagon mindset, it's very easy that we get like a prompt in things that we need to do next. But then when that happens, it's good just to have a finish line for yourself. And then the daily highlights could help you with that. When the finish line is approaching, you can just ask to yourself if you have accomplished your daily highlight or not. If you do so, probably you have this joyful feeling of a task done. And if not, maybe something unforeseen, very important came up. But then you could be also grateful that you make some time to just react to that important stuff. This is also good just to make you accountable in how you are spending your time and what are the trade-offs that you are accounting. So now I'm going to give you some tips and tools to stay energized. To have energy for your brain, you need to take care of your body and your physical energy. Just an analogy. When you are trying to cram in just a single thing at the end of your day, it's like driving a car that is running out of fuel. When the tank is empty, you cannot go anywhere. You need to stop and refill. Similar happens to our body. So here there are some tactics to get your energy up during the day. Move your body. Probably movement is the best technique to get energy. So you can have 20 to 30 minutes over the day to have something like a light workout, or maybe just having a light walking, something that gives you movement over the day. That helps you just to get energy to your brain, also reduce the stress, boost your mood, and in general help you to sleep better. It's a very positive feedback loop that you want just applied in your daily routine. Eat real food. It's very important that you keep your insulin levels stable during the day. What happens when you are very busy from one meeting to the other? Maybe you forgot to eat and you end up with a lot of time without eating. When that happens, your insulin level crashes, and then you are feeling very tired, sluggish, and probably irritated. Usually, when that happens, you get a lot of cravings for high sugary foods. And the problem of that food is that you could get a rush of energy at the end, but also very quickly an energy crash when the sugar crash. So you want to avoid that. So you want to maintain your insulin levels stable throughout the day. And a good thing of that is just to eat real food, like fruits, nuts, seeds. Another tip is to take a break without the screens. at least for every 2 hours of straight work, make sure that you at least have 5 minutes away from the screen. Just go to your balcony, have a deep breath, go walk into your kitchens to have a drink of water, just do a light stretching, but make sure that you do that in order to replenish your energy throughout the day. This is what I call the me or quiet time. That is very important just to have energy. And finally, manage your caffeine intake. Coffee actually doesn't give us energy, just make us more alert. So similar as sugar, you want just to avoid this like a spike and valleys of energy. So you want to keep your energy levels stable. So it is better if you just try other less caffeinated drinks like green tea, for instance. Finally, I want to end up with a quote from Jake Knapp from his book, Make Time. I highly encourage everybody to read this book. But then he said that the goal is to make time for what matters, find more balance, and enjoy today a little more. So thank you so much for having me today. If you have any questions, I'm happy to engage with you. I have my LinkedIn profile there in the presentation, so feel free to reach me out, and wish you all a great of the day. Bye.